ゆめちゃんは逃がさないぞ。そりゃー、よーし、腹ごなしにすごい。
Namaste. Try to be positive. Try to be positive. Be positive. Be positive. Man, this episode really sucked. Like, I don't know. You guys need to let me know. Like, let me know if you feel this same way. This felt like such a waste of an episode. At this point in Yume and Mizuto's story in Stepmom's Ex, we've already gotten past the past, right? We've gotten all the backstory on why, how their relationship started, how the relationship formed, kind of their high points in the relationship, and how the relationship fell apart, and they ended up just breaking up with each other, amiably, I guess you could say, and then how they ended up, being there at the dinner time or lunchtime and meeting, each other's now new step-parents for the first time. Like, we've gotten all this backstory already. The moment this episode started with another flashback of just Mizuto calling, of Yume there and just holding her little bear and be like, oh, I wish Mizuto would call. And then he calls. And then he's like, hey, what's up, baby? Yeah, I wasn't doing nothing, but I figured, my phone's on the charger. I'll just call you for a second. And I was like, okay, like, it's such a waste of a start of an episode. And I was like, yo, we need no more backstory. No more flashbacks. We don't need anything else in regards to their 3 months together in middle school or whatever the hell it was. You know what I mean? We don't need any more of that. Like, let's just move forward. So we start off with the backstory. Waste of time, okay? Then we finally get over to Grandma's house, right? Because now it's time to go meet the Irido family. So we're going to go over to Grandma's. Like, oh, that's cool. We get to meet the new girl, Makoto, or whatever her name is, which ends up being Irido's cousin. Yume ends up being jealous of her because she's good looking, and, she's kind of like all over Mizuto, but that's just because he's always kind of like ignoring her. She's a little bit annoying. So I can definitely understand. I get it. I understand. But Yume ends up being like a little jelly of her. And during the episode, she asks Mizuto, like, oh, what's your first love like? And he's like, oh, she's always happy and smiling. Obviously, he's talking about her. He's talking about Yume here, but she takes it as he's talking about his cousin for whatever reason. Apparently, just like everybody in Japan. And I know this is not true. This is further from the truth. But it's like every creator has fallen in love with like their cousin or their sister. It's like, it's always something like that. It's like, yeah, it's like my first love was not like, that'd be so weird. Like, my first love was my cousin. It's like, what? No, this ain't no Sweet Home Alabama crap. Like, we don't keep it in-house. You know what I mean? Like, that's just so weird. Anyways, regardless, we're going to move on. We got some swimsuit fan service. Mizuto, all he does this episode is read. We find out that he has a tradition. Every time he comes to Grandma's house, he reads his grandfather's old book or great-grandfather's old book, where basically, the long story short, his great-grandfather wrote an autobiography of the 4 years, the time that he spent in Siberia, and essentially, his great-grandfather had fallen in love with a woman in Siberia, and his whole autobiography is basically him and the time that he spent, and probably the time that he had to depart from her for whatever reason that is. And at this point, Yume finally got to share something emotional with Mizuto, because he basically told her, like, and she asked him the question too, like, basically no one's ever also read this story, so she got to basically touch, feel, be a part of Mizuto's life that nobody else has. You know what I mean? So she got to share something really special with him. So I will say that was a cool scene and stuff like that. I love how the cousin caught on quickly that Yume has a thing for Mizuto. She was on the up and up. She got that super duper quick. If I didn't mention this already, we got some swimsuit fan service. Cool. Mizuto's little cousin really likes Yume. He thinks she's hot, so we got to see that. And that's it. Then we got to see them share a moment with each other, and he's like, "Oh, ay ay. Ay ay, let's go back to the past for a moment. Ay ay. And they hug and she cries. I will say, you know, I do like how the cousins like, yo, go for it. Do it. You know what I mean? Like, you made this, you know, she's like, oh, I could be part of this family and stuff. And I was like, yeah. Because your mom married into it. You know? Man. I don't know. I didn't like the episode. I'm just going to put that energy out there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go in on it anymore. I think it, again, I've said before, like, I just don't know. Like, this episode, it was just a big miss for me. You know, the should we, could we, let's not do it. Oh, we almost did it. Like, it gets tiring after a while. And I'm just like, I hate to use the word lazy. Because, like, could I write a story like this? No. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have the talent for it. So I can't say it's lazy writing. It's just not the best in comparison with what it could be. That's all I'll put out there. So let me know what you guys thought was this week's episode. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer about it, but it's just like, it was just a little bit of a waste of time. It was a waste of an episode, especially where at the end of the day, you know, when looking at it, we're on the 11th episode and we literally have one more left. Is this how we wanted to spend the episode before the last episode? And this anime is probably never going to get a season 2. So it's like, do we really want to spend the episode before the last episode not progressing? Maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought. All right. Peace.